But yeah.
Yep, I hear you on that. We're going to go to Hassam next. Some footage here we have to show you before we speak to Hassam.
Diaz into Soboslai. Do something, Soboslai. Do something, Soboslai. Jones! And it's saved by Pope. Yay! Shot on target! Yes! Nick Pope made the save. Shot on target. Let's go!
Hassam, a very disappointing day in the final for you. Obviously, the boys have spoke long and hard. What do you think went wrong for Liverpool today? Why and why was Mohamed Salah so poor in another massive game this week?
I think if you're blaming Salah for today, you just don't understand football. You just don't understand the sport. At the end of the day, the reason why we lost today is we got out-coached. For the second game in a row, Eddie Howe out-coached Arne Slot, just like Luis Enrique out-coached Arne Slot. Newcastle deserved to win this game. We don't deserve to win this game, even if we made a comeback in the end. The last 4 minutes of the game tell you everything that's wrong with this football match. The last 4 minutes is literally everything that's wrong with this football match. You score a goal, you scam a goal, and for the next 4 minutes, try to apply pressure, try to create something. And for 4 minutes, we started playing the corner game with the Newcastle that they won, by the way, the corner game. For 4 minutes, we couldn't even get the ball up top. Dan Burn is 6'5", Salah is 5'7". We are playing long balls to Salah against Dan Burn. Dan Burn is a literal giraffe. And for some reason, I don't know what the reason is, we had Alexis McAllister, who's 5'5", defending Dan Burn on corners. And when I was doing my watch along, I pointed it out 4 corners in a row. It happened first when Dan Burn had that layoff corner to Bruno Guimaraes, and Bruno Guimaraes headed towards Keller that he saved. From that moment onwards, it's just, you just know, like, you know, it just makes no sense. McAllister is the shortest outfield player we have, and we put him on the tallest outfield player they had, which is genuinely just nonsensical from a corner. I look at our midfield get run by again by the Newcastle dogs that they have in midfield. They just ran us to pieces. They just pressed the shit out of us. This is not the Liverpool from August, September, October, November, December. This is not. And I know G and Sam will agree as well, and Rax. I was putting my head like this, not because I'm disagreeing. It's because I'm frustrated the fact that we lost today's game.
My bad. I actually realized why you put your head back. My bad.
Yeah, and the copium now starts from certain Liverpool fans. Thank God G, Rax, and Sam are not them, who will act like this is okay because we're going to go on to win the league. Every time, this is just horse shit, to be honest with you. Like when you're in a final at Wembley, you want to win it. Whether it's Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Audi Cup, whatever cup, like you're in Wembley and it's a massive occasion. It's a major trophy. You have to try and win it. And the way that we lost today's game was just absolute crap. And you know what pisses me off? This is a literal repeat of the game at St. James's Park. Literal repeat. Like actual repeat where we just got pressed to pieces. And I was doing a show this Friday. Rax was on it. And I said, I would have started Endo and played a 4-man midfield instead of playing 3-man midfield because they obviously have a lot more pace and power than us. They're a lot more athletic than us, and they're going to press us to pieces. So I said, play Endo, have a natural DM in there, and have 3 midfielders instead of 2, and then you can have Salah and Diaz up top together. That was the solution for the PSG game, and that was the solution for the Newcastle game. Instead, we went with the 4-3-3, which is not a problem. The problem is not the formation. The problem is how we played on the pitch. We couldn't get the ball to the forward line. The way that we got the ball to the forward line is long ball, because they're saying in the chat, explain how Slot was outcoached. Slot was outcoached because we played into Newcastle's hands.
Yes.
Yeah. Eddie Howe, if you told him pre-game, hey, they're going to play long balls into Diogo Jota, he'd have been like, let's go. I'm going to be a Carabao Cup champion today. We kept playing long balls to Jota.
Yes.
Jota was shit. He's our worst forward today. But at the same time, he's 5'5". Against the Newcastle 2 centre-back giants.
Do you think, Sam, maybe that's been born out of the fact that this season, up until, and let's put the Plymouth game aside because you start with a much weaker team, but up until the PSG game and up until today, by and large this season, you've kind of stuck to your plan and you've found a way playing your way. Do you think maybe it's just, I don't want to call it luck, but you've just had some games with, oh, hang on, with every other match this season, we've stuck to our guns, played our system, played our way, and we've come out on top. So I'm not going to change that now.
Yeah, but the problem with your question is we haven't stuck to our plan. We haven't stuck to our plan for a while now. That's the problem. G and Sam pointed it out. We haven't stuck to the plan. Are we doing the same plan that we did in August? When we came to Man United and we won 3-0 at Old Trafford, does this look like a similar plan? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's not a similar plan.
What,
We
what
didn't.
are you,
I don't
what are
even
you not-
recall
what are you not doing that's the same? What's changed?
the way that we play out of the press, the way that we're using Gravenberg, and on top of that, teams are now pressing Gravenberg because he knows he is essentially our way of going out of trouble when we're getting pressed. So now people are essentially man marking and pressing the shit out of him, which they did at St. James's Park anyway. Which is why we should have been ready with a 4-man midfield, which I said on Friday. So this is not hindsight. On Friday, I said, guys, we should start Endo. And we lost this game deservedly because they were a lot better than us. We played straight into their hands. We did. And that's why I'm not blaming Salah or Diaz or Gakpo or Chiesa. We had one moment where we played football and we scored a goal from it. Elliot, instead of molesting the ball for 90 minutes, plays a direct ball. Chiesa finishes it in front of goal. Yeah, because that's what we did. Like, how much possession do we have? 900% possession. And what do? We just kept hugging the ball. But you start playing possession football after you're 2-0 down. It's too late, mate. Where has this been all game long? And finally, like, Slot actually subs on Chiesa. I don't know what Chiesa has done to Arne Slot for him to not trust him at all. Subs on Chiesa and he makes a positive impact because he's a direct winger that's not interested in hugging the ball for 90 minutes. So we deserve to lose this game. This is absolutely unacceptable, to be honest with you, the way that we performed today. Slot got outcoached 2 games in a row. Long balls into two of the shortest forwards in the Premier League against the giants that Newcastle have is just like a suicidal tactic, to be honest with you. And I just want to say, I'll be honest with you, thank God we're in a title race with Arsenal, not Manchester City. I'll pray tonight and I'll thank God like 500 times that we're not in a title race with Man City.
I was about to say that.
If we were in a title race with Manchester City, this would be the start of another capitulation. So thank God we're in a title race with bigger bottle jobs than us.
I hear you on that.
If it was,
Go on, Andrew.
if it was the like you going against Man City and not Arsenal, this will definitely be deja vu. It's exactly what happened last season, and you were in all the competitions.
We won the Carabao Cup last season.
No, but yeah, and that's why I'm here, because I'm a Chelsea fan, and you guys beat us 1-0, and yeah, that felt really bad. And I was watching your watch along, and then I'm also here to say congratulations to Newcastle. I found out about 4 years ago that my ancestry like comes from Newcastle, so I was like, hey, it's nice that like we wanted like a trophy. So yeah, but if this wasn't basically Arsenal, like you guys would be like, you and all Liverpool fans would be sweating because the Premier League won't be so done and dusted. But right now, I mean, you guys will still win it. This game, if I have to say, like what I saw was like tactically, yeah, he was out coached. He changed stuff that he shouldn't have changed, Slot, because he normally makes good decisions. Like he thinks on his feet. He makes substitutions well. He didn't do that this time. The tactic of long balls to short forwards versus giants, again, not something that he would normally not do. He would play differently. And yeah, and you have to give it up to the atmosphere. Like these guys went to Anfield and they made an atmosphere there, which is crazy, the Newcastle fans. And yeah, they just had grit. Like somebody in the super chat said that it was the manliest man of the match performance. Yeah, like definitely Dan Burn, like he bossed everybody on that pitch. So that big up to Newcastle. Congratulations, Newcastle fans. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, but the reason why Dan Burn won man of the match once again, and this is the thing that we're pointing out, myself and G, is the fact that we just played into their hands.
Oh!
Dan Burn shouldn't have that many attempts at winning headers anyway. Where is the fluid football? Where is the passing it on the ground? Newcastle want you to.
It was a mismatch. Yeah. McAllister and him.
You play it wrong, you just play into their hands and you end up losing. That's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah, I don't disagree with a lot of what you said. I think with Liverpool's the thing Liverpool's system's going through is that your manager made adaptations to it from Klopp, and I think beginning of the season that caught people off guard. Clubs are now working it out, and they're nullifying it in there's been a lot more games, I think, in 2025 that Liverpool have played where you've won the games, but you haven't been the outright best team. But what you also have had in those games is that Mo Salah's been on point. I think what has helped is that the last couple of matches, I only asked you about Salah, why do you think he isn't performing? I just feel like it's unfortunate, but he just hit bad form at the wrong time. I think he's hit bad form at the wrong time for Liverpool and at a perfect time for everybody else. Because,
but can I disagree with you on that genuinely? And I'm not saying that just to defend the guy. In the first half, we didn't play long ball one time. One time we actually played it on the ground. Salah got the ball in a dangerous position just one time, and we created the most dangerous chance of the half.
Oh, the cross from the right.
Where Diaz plays it off to Jota and Jota cleared it.
I understand that. I also saw Mo Salah, though, in the first half and second, a number of first touches, same as in the PSG games, home and away. First touches wasn't good enough. Tried to beat a man, lost his duels. I can't ignore that just because I think he's a phenomenal football player. But what I'm not going to do is try and play his legacy down. Mo Salah is not currently in the form where he can be having a quiet game and score some screamer from 35 yards on a weird angle and bring his team back into the football match. And I think that's exposed Liverpool, whilst their form's not been as good as well. It's almost like a perfect storm, as an example. But things like Dan Burn pulling off. I mean, Gary Neville was talking about it, so I'm not going to plagiarise what he said. But Newcastle just went, well, there's no point putting Dan Burn up against Van Dijk. Let's just put him out of the back. And Man United tried to do this with Maguire a lot. We just knock it to a back post, and Maguire's there to knock it back across. And the bit where you're right, Hussam, Slot had to take accountability is that he didn't change it. He didn't go, do you know what? We've got to go and stick Konate or Van Dijk on him. Yes, it weakened you in the middle, but their biggest goal threat's also not in the middle. So, he got it wrong in that regard today.
Hussam, I have a question for you, Hussam.
Sorry, I have a question for Hussam. Go on.
Yeah, I just want to know that, like, because Arsenal fans were saying this, they said that, okay, if like how Saka's injured for them, and that's why they are where they are. If and I think you answered this as well. If Salah was injured, if Salah doesn't show up, then what happens to Liverpool? Like today is an example. Yes, tactically they were outplayed, but this is an example. If Salah doesn't show up, then maybe you're not firing, and this title race could be closer. What do you say for that?
Of course, if the best player in the league is not there, we would have struggled. I mean, that's something, to be honest with you, that's like, I don't think anyone would disagree with. Obviously, with him being there, like it's something that we need. But at the end of the day, he wasn't there last season, and no one gave us that excuse. So why should I use that excuse for Arsenal this season?
And when he was there,
okay, fair enough.
And when he was there, we accumulated a 9-point lead over Arsenal. Like we were 9 points ahead on 11th of November. And Saka was fully fit at that point.
And also, Arsenal dropped points 4 games with no controversy whatsoever, and no injuries whatsoever. Newcastle, Fulham, Chelsea, and Everton.
I just think the problem we have in this is I love what we all do. I love what I do for a living. I love fan content. It's where fan content can be a little bit frustrating, is that nobody wants to give a rival the excuse when they've got injuries, but we all want the excuse when we've got it. That's the truth of this matter. Of course, there's no way Liverpool would be 12 points clear at the top of the league if Salah had been out for the last 3 months. In my personal opinion, I think they'd be top of the league. I don't think they'd have a 12-point gap, as an example. Had Saka stayed fit in that time, could Arsenal be closer? Yeah, absolutely. But there aren't no guarantees in football. So I just think it becomes a really difficult conversation. And it all started, by the way, when Liverpool were the first team to sort of suffer with this, really. Hang on a minute.